my y, I'm going to start at 0, and my max is going to be about 10,500, and I'm going to go up by 100. So if you graph, it looks like this. Now I have this one point that is off. This is why I like to graph it, just to see whether I'm off. At 1, 2, 3, 4, so 10, 20, 30, 40, which is correct. Because you notice how it's 296, so you are going to be off. Okay, so my plots look good. So now I'm going to use a logistic regression. So what you do is you go back to its stats. You're going to calculate, and we want to find a logistic. Okay, so there's my logistic. So press enter, and then press enter one more time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to store the numbers into my calculator. That way I don't have to keep putting them in. So this is my A value. So the logistic equation is going to look y equals 12.655.179 over 1 plus 12.871 e to the negative 0.0325 x. So there's part A. Part B says graph the scatter plot in the superimposed regression curve. So they just want you to make sure that the regression curve is correct. The next problem sets the table below shows the population of Pennsylvania year census between 1830 and 1950. So if you look at the table, since this is year since 1820, that means that this is 1830, 1840s, 1850, 1860, and so on. So part A wants us to find a logistic equation for the data. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our calculator. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to turn on our stats plots, which is above the y-axis. Notice that it's in blue. So I'm going to do second stats, and I need to turn on one of my plots on. So I'm going to turn on my plot 1. So I'm just going to press enter, and see how the on is highlighted. I want to press enter to highlight the on. I need to make sure that my y list is in L1 and my x list is in Y1, my y list is in L2. So once I have my stats plots on, I can quit, go to my home screen. Then I'm going to go ahead and enter my data, and that is going to be on the stats button. So I'm going to press my stats button. I'm going to edit my list. So I'm going to press enter, and here's my list. So to clear it, I just go up, clear, enter, and I'm going to go ahead and enter my numbers. Notice that I entered my x values in L1 and my y values in L2. Once I have my stats plots, I'm going to go ahead and change my window. Before I do that, I'm going to clear my graphs that I have. So I'm going to go to my window, and I'm going to change my window. Since my x value starts at 10 and goes to 130, my min is going to be 0. My max is 140, and I'm going to go up by 10s. Your y value, I'm going to start at 0. It goes all the way to 10,498. So I'm going to do about 11,000. And I am going to go up 11,000. I'm going to go up by 1,000. So if I graph it, there's my stats plots. So it wants me to do a logistic regression. So you're going to go back into your stats. This time you're going to calculate, and you're looking for your logistic equation, which is B here, logistic. I'm going to press enter, and then enter one more time. So I come up with my logistic equation. So one of the things that I want to do, if I want to write these numbers down, because I'm going to store A, B, and C in my calculator. So A would be 12. And I'm going to store it in my A. I'm going to store B in B. So remember to store it, press the number, and then press the store button. finally I'm going to start my C. So my logistic equation for part A is going to be y equals so part B says graph the data scatter plots and superimpose in the regression curves. So what the reason for this is they just want you to make sure that you put the numbers correct so that your graph is the correct fit for my equation. So on the y, I'm going to graph C divided by 1 plus A So my graph, I'm going to graph C divided by parentheses 1 plus A e to the negative bx. So that is a really good fit for my curve. So the next question says, graph the part C. Use the regression equation to predict Pennsylvania population in the 2000 census. So in 2000 census, since this is 1950, it's going to be 50 more years. Right? So from 1950 to 2000, this is going to be 50 more years. So I need to add 130 plus 50. So that would be 180. So I want to do it at 180. So it's 180 years after 1820. And you can check just to make sure that we did that right. 1820 plus 180 is 2000. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to do y variables, y1 of 180. Press enter. So according to this, the population is going to be approximately 12,209. So part D is going to be 12,209 thousand. Be careful with your units. Part E says, what does the regression equation indicate about the population in Pennsylvania in the long run? Well, in the long run, if you notice your graph is increasing logistically, so it's increasing. So in the long run, my population is going to